I really need to work out. I really should be studying.
Let us fly.
Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristi, and this is Kristi Doing Things. And on this channel, we talk all about the ways to be able to live the life of our dreams and the things that we need to do to help us to be able to get there. So, on today's episode, we are going to talk about managing time and what to do when we realize that we are wasting time. If that sounds like your jam, I want you to sit down, stick around, and let's hang out for a little bit. In order to get traction with living the life of our dreams, we have to manage our time. Like there's really just no way around it. The way we manage and budget our money is the way that we should be thinking about the time that we have. We all only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and we have to figure out what are we going to do with that time so that we can get done the things that not only that we need to get done, but then also the things that we want to get done. But how do we do that? It's easy to find ourselves in a rut and realize that we're doing things that are not necessarily effective, but really not sure how to be able to change that and do things in a way that is more effective or allows us to be more productive in our days. When I realize that I'm not being as effective as I want to be, the first thing I do is try to identify where I am. So figure out where I am, how am I feeling at the moment, what's going on in life that is not allowing me to be effective. And so that's what I would say is the first tip, is to identify where you are. Are you in a really good place in life where you feel like things are going really well and you're enjoying life? Or are you having a busy season where just things are getting out of hand and you feel like you don't have time to be able to devote to some of the other interests that you may have because all of your energy is in one specific area? Maybe you feel like you are having a difficult time in life where you're struggling with potentially some personal issues, may it be health issues or financial issues or anything that is going on in your personal life that is stopping you from being able to focus on all of the things that need to be accomplished. And then finally, maybe you're in a season where you're at a natural transition point in life. So we're going to talk about each of those things in a little bit more in depth, and hopefully you can find where you are in one of these 4 areas. So let's first talk about the busy season. We all come through times in our life where things are just very busy. Maybe we're working on a big project for work that's due and it is taking all of our attention where we can't focus on other things. Or maybe you're in school and you're trying to finish up a project. When I was in my PhD program, actually all throughout school, there would come busy times where at the end of the semester, I would have to focus really hard on something for potentially a few weeks straight, and it would just take all of my attention away from some of the other things that I had to do. When we are in a busy season, that should only last for a short period of time where you can see what the deadline or see what the finish line is for that. It, of course, should not be a time that is constantly going and lingering because we can't live our lives functioning in a state of busyness or a state of go, 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 and things just don't stop. So if that's where you are and you know that that time is about to end, focus on that because again, it's only lasting for a short amount of time, and that potentially is really where your focus needs to be right now until you get over this hump. Maybe you're in a season where you're dealing with personal issues. I know firsthand how draining personal issues can be and how they pull focus away from being able to do some of the other things that we would like to do in life. When I was in my mid-20s, I lost both of my parents and newly had to do a lot of different things. I was having to help my brother and sister be able to navigate their lives. I was having to figure out my own life and the emotional distress that I was feeling and have to figure out just how to do lots of different things that I had not done before. And that caused me to not be able to have time or mental energy to be able to focus on some of the other things that I wanted to do, things that were valuable, things that were important, things that were goals of mine, but there was just no time, no mental energy, and no space to be able to do that. Maybe you are in a season of life where it is a natural transition point and your body and your mind just feel like it's time for a change. So I used to be in the public school system. I taught for a good bit of time. So shout out to all my teachers. It is a very great work that you're doing. But my body and my mind throughout the year, there were times when it felt like, you know what? It's time. I'm looking at you, Christmas break. I'm definitely looking at you, summer break, because it's coming up very soon. But there were times where my body just felt like, oh, it's time. And it was really hard to be able to focus on things because you just knew that something that you were looking forward to was coming up and it was just time for that to happen. And it didn't happen with just teachers. If you're a teacher, you know that. It would also happen with students as well, where they could feel it and their behaviors, the way they were able to focus was all just a bit thrown off because there was a natural time for things to be able to start changing. Are you at a time where things are going pretty well, or in a season of your life where things are going pretty well? Life may not be perfect. However, for the most part, things are pretty steady and smooth sailing. You're able to hang out with friends. You're able to get your work done. You don't have a lot of things that are pulling focus, that are big major events happening in life that are pulling focus. But for the most part, things are just pretty easygoing. And you're living your life on a day-to-day basis in a way that no big things that are reasons that would cause you to be distracted and cause you to have difficulty with managing your time. So there may be some other buckets that weren't covered in those 4 big ones that I just mentioned. However, that gives you a really good start of being able to identify where you are and where your focus is so that you can move forward with managing time from there. After you've identified where you are and what season of life you're in, how you're feeling at the moment, the next thing you'll want to do is identify what is your work style. So, how do you like to work? How do you like to accomplish things? For me, I am one who I love to time block things and put things on my calendar, put things on my to-do list so that I know what's coming up. I am also one who can just work for a long period of time without taking a break, and I am not advocating for that. But I do know that that is how my brain works and sometimes how I can just lock into a specific task. What do you like to do? How do you best work? Are you like me and you can get in the zone and like to focus on things for a long chunk of time? Do you like to take multiple breaks and know that in 15 minutes or whatever the case may be, you have a break that's coming up after you finish your work? Are you one who is easily distracted and find that if things are not just so, then it pulls your attention from the thing that you are presently working on? Do you find that there are certain tasks where you're one way doing one thing where you can lock in and focus, and then on other tasks you may be easily distracted? And then are you somewhere in between? Like what is your work style and how do you like to work, or how do you typically work? Okay. So after you identify your work style and how you typically like to work, what you know about yourself when you are working, you then want to identify what are some potential distractors. Even if you are not a person who is easily distracted when you're doing a task, we always have things that come up as potential distractors while we are working. So this can look a couple of different ways. Maybe they are actual physical distractors that are in your space. Maybe music, maybe people who come up and start talking to you. Maybe it could be text messages that are coming through. Maybe it can be spending time on social media because that is pulling your focus. Maybe it's laundry in the middle of the floor. What are some things that you notice are distractions for you that when you are working, you can no longer focus on that thing because you've lost focus and you've gotten completely distracted. Now, physical distractions are really easy to be able to identify and remove. What's harder to take control of or to be able to identify are those mental distractions or emotional distractions that stop us from being able to take action on the things that we need to do or want to do. And this can go from one extreme to another. On one end of the spectrum, we can just not have any passion in the thing that we're doing. And so we don't take action on it because we're not enjoying it and it's not ultimately something that we want to be doing anyway. On the other extreme, these can be mindsets or belief systems that we have about ourselves that make us not feel worthy of whatever is the thing that we want to do. For example, maybe you want to fall in love and get married, but there is something in you where you don't feel like you're worthy of being able to do that. So you stay in a situation that is not healthy for you and doesn't get you toward that goal. Or you don't take any action at all because you don't want to put yourself out there and get hurt. So that's a belief system that would stop you from taking action on the goals that you have for your life. And it looks like wasting time. It looks like not managing time. But really what's happening is you don't feel like you can do it. So you don't take the action steps to be able to do it. Alrighty guys, so this is Editing Kristi, jumping in from the future in a different outfit, in a different space, but I wanted to let you know we're going to pause the video right here. In today's video, we have talked a lot about the internal work that comes with managing time, and so in our next video, we're going to talk about those external things or the task management things of managing time, so you'll want to stick around. If you enjoyed this video, please just go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and join our family so that we can continue growing together. Always, of course, know that you are just on time to live the life of your dreams, and I'll see you next time. Bye.